Okay, Plexus Heart Team. This meeting is being recorded. Our special guest speaker tonight is San Juanita Gonzalez, and she is a silver ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, and she's working really hard to get to the next level, gold. She's got an amazing story, so you guys get ready. And first of all, is what I want to ask you is, before we get into the Plexus part of it, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your family, where you're from, what kind of work you do, and we'll go from there.
Thank you so much, Don. I want to thank you for inviting me to be a guest speaker for your event. My name is San Juanita Gonzalez. I'm from Laredo, Texas. Originally, I'm from Miranda City, Texas. It's a small town of about 300 people. After graduation, I came to live in Laredo, and I've been living here ever since. I am a mom of two beautiful girls, 18 and 17-year-olds. I've been married for 26 years to my best friend, my husband, Ricardo Gonzalez. I work for a transport company. I've been there for about 15 years now. And I started with Plexus, I want to say back in 2010 or 2011. I was introduced to it by a friend of mine who actually lives in Dallas now. And at that time, I was struggling with a lot of health issues, diabetes, cholesterol, high blood pressure. Back in 1993, I was diagnosed with lupus. And I went into remission when I had my first daughter. And after I had my second daughter, it became active again. And I started struggling with severe arthritis throughout my whole body. And it got to a point where I started gaining a lot of weight, because not only did my lupus react in a way where it was affecting my whole body, it also affected my thyroid. So I started gaining a lot of weight. So my friend introduced me to Plexus. And at that time, I remember I ordered the pink drink with the accelerator. And like anything, most people have the mentality of wanting to get healthy and wanting to lose weight, but you want to see results from one day to the next. And that was my mentality. I wanted to see results from one day to the next. So I took it for about 2 months, and I quit because I didn't see any results. I saw a couple of inches lost here and there, but as far as pounds is concerned, I had not lost a single pound. So I quit. Then back in 2016, I saw my upline, Bonnie Mata, posted something about Plexus, and it caught my attention because I had previously taken it. So I thought, if it's popping up back into my life again, it's got to be for a reason. So I took the plunge and I asked Bonnie about it. And she explained it to me. She explained what it was, what it did. And it intrigued me because the first time when I ordered it back in 2010 or 11, I think it wasn't explained to me, and I didn't ask questions either. So this time around was different because she went into detail about what it was. So I ordered it. May of 2016, I ordered it. And I remember when I got it, Bonnie came and delivered it to me at work. And that day I said, you know what? I don't think I'm going to take it after all. And she was so upset. She's like, you're crazy. You have got to try it. You've been struggling with your health. I know it's going to help you. And if I have to kick your butt all the way, I'm going to do it, but you're going to try it. So I tried it, and I stuck with it for the first 2 months. After the 2 months, I said, you know what? I quit. I'm not going to take it no more. and all the, I really have to thank Bonnie, and I'm so grateful to her because she literally kicked my butt all the way through. And if it hadn't been for her, I would have quit by my 8th month. Right. At that point, when I started, I was at 250 pounds. Wow. I was 250 pounds. Yep. and I was wearing a size 24 blue jean. That summer, I had stopped wearing blue jeans. I couldn't wear blue jeans. I couldn't fit into them because I was so bloated from my stomach. It got to a point where I looked pregnant.
Wow.
So I had to start wearing pants with elastic around my waist. I stuck with it during the summer. And I remember in August of 2016, I went to my doctor in San Antonio because I had started struggling more and more with inflammation, and my high blood pressure was just escalating. And I was just not feeling well enough to be able to be functional on a daily basis. So I went back to my doctor, and I remember that morning I got on the scale, and as soon as I got on the scale, I saw the number 250 pounds on there. And I cried because that's been the heaviest I've ever been.
Right.
I remember asking him, what else could I do besides taking Plexus to lose weight? And he looked at me and he's like, "You're taking Plexus?" And I said, "Yes, I'm taking Plexus, but I'm actually wanting to quit because I don't see results." And he had this big smile on his face and he said, "You know what? If you hadn't mentioned Plexus to me, I wouldn't have said anything because I'm a doctor. But my wife is a nutritionist and she's on Plexus.
Wow.
So I'm going to encourage you to stick with it." The thing here to Plexus is you're not going to see results from one day to the next. Everybody's body is different. Everybody's got a different body type. Everybody's struggling with health issues in a different way. Some people may need to lose weight. Some people may need to gain weight. It's going to work for everybody individually in a different way.
Right.
So you need to understand that if you're not seeing results right now, you will see results down the line. If it's taking 6 months to 8 months, it's because it's working inside your body. You know, it's detoxing your body. It's getting rid of all of the toxins, the bacterias, everything that you've put into your body that's made it sick. It's working for you.
Pulling that out, yes.
Yes, give it time.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there looking at the doctor and I'm thinking, yeah, right. You know, it's not gonna work. That was my mentality. So that was August 2016. I had to go to his visits every 2 weeks at that point. So 250 pounds back in August 2016. I go back in 2 weeks. And at that point, I was so ready to quit Plexus already. I go back in 2 weeks. I got on this scale and I was down 14 pounds.
Wow.
And I remember standing there and I'm like, okay, so I guess it's starting to work. I was still kind of hesitant, but I was still, willing to give it another shot. And he says, "Didn't I tell you it was going to work? So before you leave today, I'm going to send you over to my wife, who's a nutritionist and is taking Plexus, so that she can explain it to you a little bit better and give you more insight on it." And he said, "Again, I'm a doctor. I don't tell my patients about it because eventually there's not going to be a need for me, for my services."
Right.
So that's why I don't go around telling people that my wife is on Plexus.
Right.
He said, and it was, I still remember the look on his face. He goes, "I know you're staring at me like, that's just so stupid of you not to tell people about it, knowing that it can save somebody's life,
right.
Make their health better." At that point, I had lost 14 pounds, and I spoke to his wife, and she did tell me, she explained a lot about taking it consistently, not to stress too much about it. She goes, because I know there's people start weight loss programs or health health programs, and all their focus is on how many pounds am I losing, and they tend to get on the scale every single day.
Right.
So I don't want you to get on the scale. Do not get on the scale. You got on the scale right now. You saw that you've lost 14 pounds. Go home, but do not get on that scale until you come back in 2 weeks. So because I can guarantee you get on that scale, you are no longer gonna worry about or stay concentrated on what you have to do to make your health better, but you're gonna be worrying about that scale not going down. And it's not gonna do you any good. It's only gonna stress you out more. So that's what I did. And she spoke to me about my eating habits as well. At that point, when I'm gonna go back a little bit, before I started Plexus, my eating habits were bad. I was the type of person who sat down and I literally filled up my plate with whatever meal I had prepared. And I ate it all. And sometimes I would go back for a second serving or a third serving. And now when I think about it, I think that a lot of us, it's not that we're still hungry. It's just habit.
Yeah.
It's out of habit, or, it's just out of love for food as well. And sometimes people eat because they're stressed out, they're frustrated, or that's the only way that they comfort themselves when they're having a bad day. In my case, it was out of stress and frustration. I tend to eat when I'm stressed out and when I'm frustrated. That's my comfort, to eat.
Right.
And I remember after starting Plexus, and I kept on it consistently, my amount of serving was getting smaller and smaller. Wow. And I was no longer eating a second helping or a third helping. And at one point, I remember I sat down to eat with my husband, and I had made mole. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but mole is a very very famous Mexican dish.
Right. Yes.
And my family loves it. And I sat at the table with him, and I remember I served myself, and it was a small portion. And he's like, "Is that all you're gonna eat?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, do you want me to serve you a glass of Coke? And I said, "No, I want water." Coca-Cola was my drug.
Right. Yeah.
It was the first thing I drank in the morning, and it was the last thing I drank at night.
Yep.
And I was so addicted to it, Don, and it got to a point where I ended up having a hysterectomy because of it, because I became anemic. I had 3 transfusions, and finally there was nothing else that the doctors could do because my fibroids had gotten so big. I had to have a hysterectomy. So after that, I started with Plexus and everything, and Plexus, thankfully, helped me get rid of my Coca-Cola addiction.
Yep. Same here with me. I was addicted to Dr. Pepper, so I totally know you, girl.
Yes.
Yep. Now I can't even stand the taste of them, which is good.
Yes. And what helped me stay more consistent with Plexus and get more excited about it was the fact that my family, my coworkers were noticing that I was no longer carrying my glass of ice chips filled with Coca-Cola, because right. That's how I used to function back then. My day at work, I carried my big old tumbler glass of ice with Coca-Cola. And it got to a point where my tumbler wasn't full with Coca-Cola. It was full with water. I craved water. Right. And I wasn't the type of person to drink water.
Right.
But with Plexus, it made me crave water.
Right.
It made me crave eating healthy. I was not the type of person to eat salads or eat, healthy meals and things like that. And that's what I started eating.
Right.
My family would totally freak out because we would get together at dinners. And I remember we had gone to the beach and we all sat together to eat, and everybody was ordering beer and Cokes and drinks and whatnot. And the waiter asked me what I wanted to drink. And I said, I want a glass of water. My dad literally did a double taking. He's like, are you sure you want water? And I said, yes. I'm not going to drink Coke.
Right.
And I don't drink Cokes.
Yeah, well, good.
And that was just totally big for me because, like I said, Coca-Cola was my drug. I
Right.
would get up during the middle of the night to drink a Coke because my body was just, I guess, the sugar craving.
Right.
It was, my addiction was just so bad for it. Plexus has helped me acquire better eating habits because it's cut my sugar craving. It's cut the amount of food that goes on my plate because I no longer crave bigger portions.
Right. Exactly.
I eat only when I'm hungry and only what I feel like eating. It's not eating in big portions anymore. Now, Plexus has helped me in a lot of areas of my life. I've acquired better eating habits. I am more active. I'm to the point where I can climb stairs without getting tired and without feeling like I'm going to die because I can't I can't breathe anymore.
Right.
I can go to the mall and I can walk around the mall 2 or 3 times, maybe even 10 times now. When before, as soon as I got off my car, I was already looking for a bench to sit down because I couldn't walk.
Right.
I can wear jeans again. I can wear heels for the first time in my entire life.
Wow.
I can go to work and I can walk around in my heels and not get tired.
Right. Wow.
And it's amazing how much Plexus can help your body heal from so much that you're going through. You know, we tend to put so much crap in our bodies, from medication to all types of diets that we try. It's because, I mean, I've tried every single diet. I've taken so many pills for diet weight, for weight loss.
Right.
Antibiotics, my medication for lupus, all the things that you take and you put in your body, eventually, I mean, they may help your body at that point in time, but somewhere down the line, you're going to end up getting sick eventually from one thing or another.
Yeah, but then you're going to need a different medication for that and another one for that. And it goes on and on and on. Yep. Yep.
And and what I realized is a lot of these medications that we take are steroids, and all of that causes inflammation in your body.
Yeah.
And a lot of the weight that we carry, it's not just fat. It's a lot of inflammation.
Inflammation, yes. Very true.
It's a lot of inflammation.
Yep.
And it's unfortunate that a lot of people don't take the time to really look into their health struggles.
Right.
I learned a lot through Plexus.
Right.
Because I started doing research. I started, asking more questions because I finally had reached a point where I wanted to get healthy. Right. I wanted to feel better. It wasn't just weight loss. I wanted better quality of life.
Right.
When I started Plexus, I was 44, I think, going on 45.
Right.
And I was feeling like I was already about to die.
Right.
And now that I've been into it for 3 years, I should have just stuck with it from the beginning. I should have asked questions. I should have researched it. And my health wouldn't have gotten to a point where it was. But, again, my mentality was I wanted something fast. And I'm so lucky that Bonnie approached me when she did with Plexus, because not only did it save my health and was I able to lose weight, but it saved me mentally as well, emotionally and physically. I was the type of person who always hid behind somebody when we were taking pictures because I was overweight.
Right.
I was my way of thinking, my mindset was so negative. If somebody came up to me and gave me a compliment, I was thinking, well, they're giving me a compliment, but in reality, they're making fun of me.
Right.
When you're overweight and you're feeling sick and you're struggling with your health, you tend to go into such a negative state, and you see everything around you in a negative way.
Right.
And before Plexus, I never thought the way I do now.
Right.
I I wake up every morning and I see life in such a positive way. I am surrounded by people every day that add quality of life to me, that are motivating, that are always encouraging me to do things that maybe before I was so afraid of doing. I've never gone on, as a guest speaker before.
Right.
And I had never done live videos before. And I'm doing things now that before I would have never even thought twice about doing.
Right.
Because I was always so negative, and I was just always in a bad funk and depressed, and I isolated myself from the world.
Right.
And now, even my girls and my husband, they freak out because I'm all into doing live videos and helping people and putting myself out there. But because I see what Plexus does.
Right.
I see what Plexus does.
Right.
And like I said, I've tried every diet out there. I've you name it, I've done it.
Right.
And
I'll have. Yeah.
the only thing that's ever worked for me has been Plexus.
Right. And in the beginning, you said you started like in 2010. Back in 2010, we didn't have the amount of products. I started in 2013, and so we were limited to products back then. But since then, Plexus has come out. They cease to amaze us all the time because they come out with new products all the time. We just came out with the Active, the energy drink. It not only helps with energy, but it helps with inflammation and just all kinds of things. We're hearing amazing stories of the Active all the time. We've got the hemp oil that's coming out. That's going to be life changing for a lot of people. So that's one thing that's good about Plexus right now is, they're coming out with so many products. And like you said, when you started in 2010, you didn't have that mindset. Well, we've been noticing a lot here lately. We've got, I think just this week alone, we've had like 6 people, not just from us, come back to us, but from other people on our team, wanting to get started again because they're starting to see all these new products, or, because they started many years ago where, they were limited and everything. So I think even today, I think we had a person that messaged us and said, hey, I've got somebody that's ready to start back up, so, it's just amazing that, that the products that Plexus is coming out with. So anyway, but okay. So can you tell us, let's see, how many years ago you said 2010. So when you started back up, you said, what year was it? 2016?
2016.
Okay. Now, when you first started, was you a customer or did you start out as an ambassador or?
I started as an ambassador. Well, the second time around, I started as an ambassador. The first time it was just as a customer.
Just a customer. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now, so you've been doing it for 2016. I heard you say in the beginning that, you saw your friend's post. So I guess that's what prompted you to get started back on Plexus again. And
it caught my attention because, again, I was on the lookout for something that was going to help me lose the weight and something that was going to help me feel healthy again. But nothing struck my interest except for Plexus on that day. And I remember it was on a Wednesday. And I was going through Facebook. My boss had left the office, so I was able to log on to Facebook, real quick. And the first thing I see when I opened up Facebook was Bonnie's post about Plexus, about this new health and weight loss product that she was trying. So I messaged Bonnie and I said, okay, explain this to me because I started this back in 2010 or 2011 and it didn't work for me. And she says, there is no such thing as Plexus not working for you.
Right.
It'll work for you. You just probably didn't give it enough time.
Right. Or you didn't have the support. A lot of people don't have the support that they need, so yes. That's one thing that's good about, like we have like a customer page, we have an ambassador page, and we're full of support. We're all there to help everybody on our team, all of our, potential customers.
And that's the good thing about Plexus, that you've got all these resources. There's no excuse not to stay on this product and make it work for you. What I had to do for myself is I had to figure out how the product was going to work for me best. And it's just about playing. You've got to play with it and find the right times to take it, and just stay consistent. When I started Plexus, it was that summer, and I was taking the BioCleanse and the ProBio, and I remember that I was taking it the BioCleanse once a day, and I didn't really see the result that it was supposed to be giving me. So I spoke to Bonnie and I looked into it, and I started taking it twice a day. So that's how I've been taking it. I take my pink drink in the morning with my X Factor Plus. As soon as I get out of bed, that's what I take in the morning. Around 10 o'clock in the morning, I take my BioCleanse, and then I take it again at 3 p.m. And then I take my ProBio 5 at right before bedtime.
Right.
And in between, I take my MetaBurn as well, because I started MetaBurn, and it's actually helped my thyroid. I've been feeling better from my thyroid.
Right.
You just have to find your schedule, your routine. But once you find it, and once you see that it's working for you, stay consistent with it.
Right.
Stay consistent with it. When you stick with it, eventually it becomes part of your routine. You don't even have to set your alarm or set a reminder. It becomes part of your routine. And when you start seeing results, it's even better. You don't have to struggle or worry about, I forgot to take it at that time, or whatever. It becomes part of your life.
Right.
Right. I take it. My whole family takes it. But my 17-year-old daughter actually started taking it as well back in 2016. My daughter had struggled with ADD and mild autism when she was in elementary. Her teachers had always recommended that we take her to a specialist to get her checked out and have her started on medication for ADD. And I was always hesitant because I've got a nephew who had ADHD, and I had always seen the side effects of the medication.
Right.
And he would always withdraw and never wanted to eat. He was always depressed, and he wasn't functioning. And that's not the kind of life that I wanted for my daughter. So it got to a point where she started struggling in school. She started cutting her hands. Her health just started deteriorating. It got so bad. So we took her to see a specialist, and he started her on medication. The medication made her worse. One day, I remember I was talking to one of her teachers, and I went home, and I remember I was crying that day because I didn't know what else to try, with my daughter.
Right.
And I got on my computer, and I got on Facebook, and I had somebody send me a message that they had seen how Plexus was helping families who had children with ADD. So I looked into it, and I told my husband about it, and I said, you know what? I think I'm going to try Plexus on our daughter, because I'm reading all this information, and I see that it's helping other families.
Right.
So I would rather give her something that's all natural. And it's not going to have any type of side effect, than for her to take this medication that she's taking, and she's becoming suicidal.
Right.
So I started her on Plexus. I explained it to her. I told her what I was going to give her, and I started giving her the ProBio 5 at nighttime. And at that point, I had ordered her the X Factor, the regular X Factor. So I started her on ProBio 5, and I remember it was a Saturday morning. And my daughter was the type of person who never came out of her bedroom. She never liked anybody to give her a hug, not even myself or my husband. We weren't allowed to hug her and kiss her. She basically isolated herself from everybody, including family. I remember that Saturday morning, I gave her the X Factor. And that afternoon, my husband and I were going to go grocery shopping. So I asked her, do you want to come with us? And I felt she was going to say no because she always said no. Because she never went with us anywhere. And she said, sure, Mom, I'll go with you. And I remember I was freaking out because she never went with us anywhere.
Right.
She went, and I remember telling my husband, am I just imagining her saying yes, or did she say yes? Well, no, she said yes, she's going with us. She went with us. She spent the afternoon with us. She sat down and watched a movie with us, when before she would never come out of a room and share a meal with us or share a movie, nothing.
Right.
That night I gave her the ProBio 5 and I started her on one ProBio 5. Following day, it was Sunday morning, my parents came over. And my mother was literally in tears because my daughter came out of her room, hugged my mom, hugged my dad.
Wow.
And she was just so different. And I think the X Factor made her feel different. It didn't make her feel moody. So she was feeling a little bit better about herself that day. And she just continued on. And I remember my mother said, what is she taking? Did you change her medication? I said, no, I started her on Plexus. I started her on what I'm taking. And she said, it can't be. You can't have that kind of reaction from one day to the next. I said, well, believe it or not, it had that effect on her.
Right.
And she said, well, you know what? Keep her on it. And I did. I kept her on it. A month into her medication, she started school, and she had started 6th grade. And for the first time in her school life, she was looking forward to starting school. She was looking forward to being part of the crowd. And I remember she started school and she joined choir. She joined one act play. She was in student council. She was enjoying being a kid again.
Right.
And now, she's better. She's no longer suicidal. She's no longer depressed. She's a straight A student in high school. She's part of the honor choir. She's in the National Honor Society class. She's striving. She's happy. She's a normal teenage kid enjoying life.
Yeah.
And it's been 3 years now, and she's not taken her medication ever since.
That's awesome.
No medication.
Awesome.
But now she's on ProBio 5 at nighttime. And instead of taking the regular X Factor, she's taking X Factor Plus, but she's also taking Vital Biomed.
Yes, the Vital Biomed.
Yes, the Vital Biomed has done wonders for her.
Wow, well, good.
It helps her a lot emotionally and mentally because she no longer withdraws. I think what it does for her is it boosts up her hormone level where she's not feeling as depressed anymore. She's not going through depression anymore. Her mentality state changed as well. She's able to function better in school. She's able to focus better. She's more energized. It's changed her overall outlook on life, and I am so thankful for that.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, the ProBio 5 has also helped her a lot with her acne because she used to break out in bad acne whenever she's stressed out. So the Vital Biomed has helped her keep her stress level down. And she used to struggle a lot with stuttering. Her mild autism, whenever she was stressed out, she would stutter.
Right.
She's no longer stuttering.
Wow.
She's no longer stuttering.
That's amazing.
So it's really helped her. It's really helped her. It's helped my husband. My husband started with me back in 2016, but he started in November of 2016 and he quit. After 2 months, he quit. Then a year and a half ago, I saw him in the kitchen and he was going through the cabinets and going through the bottles, going through the bioplans and stuff. And he was checking everything out. And he's like, what can I take first? And I said, well, you know, I made you a list of how you can start it. It's there. You read it.
Right.
Go through it. And if you want to start it, you are going to start it on your own because I've already explained it to you.
Right.
And sure enough, he started a year and a half ago, and he hasn't stopped taking it ever since.
Wow. Well, good for
I'm
you.
47. My husband is 59 years old. And he started going through a stage where he was feeling depressed and he was feeling more tired and he wasn't as romantic anymore.
Right.
And that just literally boosted his energy.
Yep.
And our, you know, the love department kicked in.
Well, good for that. We hear that a lot with these new products.
And, you know, believe it or not, for people who are struggling with low testosterone levels, you know, or are struggling in that area of their life, Vital Biomed and X Factor Plus really do change the outlook of it.
Right.
Give it a try. And you know, my husband has stayed faithful with it because he's seen the result in him. He's more energetic. You know, at 59,
Right.
when he's about to be 59, he's feeling more energetic. And because of the busy lives we live, I guess, you know, it got to a point where he was struggling so much with his health. And he's a smoker. He used to be a drinker as well, but he hasn't. He quit drinking about 4 or 5 years ago. His smoking has lessened because he used to smoke 2 packs a day.
Right.
And now he's down to a pack, and usually a pack will last 2-3 days now. You know, it's not where he's smoking 2 packs a day anymore.
Right.
But he's doing better. You know, he's staying active.
Yep.
It's just all about, you know, do your research, guys. You know, look into the product before you even give up on it. You know, and I'm telling you from experience, I was so skeptic about it at first. I was so ready to quit. You know, after 2 months, I was ready to quit again. And thankfully, Bonnie kicked my butt for the first 8 months and kept me on it, and I stayed consistent. And sure enough, I started losing weight.
Right.
The second week I went back to my doctor, I lost 14 pounds. The following 2 weeks I went back and I was down 24 pounds.
Wow.
And it just kept on coming, and it just kept, you know, I just kept on losing more pounds. So far, I've lost 85 pounds.
Wow. Good for you. Good for you. So now how's that helped your diabetes?
I've been off my diabetic medication for a year and a half now.
Wow. Good for you. We hear that a lot. And that's one of the best testimonies that, oh my gosh, yes, we hear that a lot.
I am so thankful that I do not have to take my diabetes medication anymore, because I was on metformin twice a day at 1,000 milligrams twice a day. It was just bad. I was taking Corzar 100 milligrams for high blood pressure. And I was on cholesterol medication as well. So far, I've been off my cholesterol medication and my high blood pressure medication for 2 years now.
Wow, good for you.
And I've been off my diabetes meds for a year and a half now.
Wow.
My lupus has been under control. I haven't had a single flare. Lupus patients tend to flare up when they're under stress. You tend to experience severe arthritis, inflammation in your joints. You tend to break out in rashes when you're exposed to too much heat or sunlight.
Okay.
Blisters, fever, and I haven't had any of that. And this summer, for some reason or another, I have been experiencing a breakout in a rash, but the difference is I haven't experienced it all over my body. It's only been in certain areas. So I know that Plexus is helping me because I haven't experienced any joint pain. I am able to wear bracelets again. When I couldn't wear bracelets because my wrists were always swollen.
Right.
I'm able to wear my wedding bands again. when before I couldn't get, and now they fit me big. I couldn't fit my wedding bands because my fingers were always so swollen.
Right.
But the plexus just tends to work all over your body. It's not just in one area. You know, it's not just weight loss.
Exactly.
It's overall health.
Exactly. Exactly. And you know what? I'll right quick. I want to, you know, because your story kind of reminds me, we've got a girl that's on our team, and I'm going to tell her name. She's amazing. Her name is April Torres, and she started Plexus, I don't know, a few years back and everything. And she was kind of like you. She, you know, didn't give it a chance and she quit. And then about 3 months ago, her and her husband started up together as a team. They started holding each other accountable. They, you know, worked their program together. They cut back on their carbs. They cut out their sugars. You know, so they started working the program together, and the two of them together have lost an amazing amount of weight. I'm not sure what the weight is. I think the last I heard it was like 80-something pounds between the two of them, and maybe even 100 pounds now. I'm not sure, it's a lot, but they've been doing amazing. So, you know, very proud of her for, you know, this time when they started, they're like, you know what, we're going to give this a full blown shot. We're going to stick with the program. So, you know, it's all about consistency. You know, you got to be consistent. You got to, you know, work with the program.
You got to, you know, be consistent. And if there's something that's, if you feel that maybe the BioCleanse is not working for you, or the ProBio 5, ask questions. You know, do some research, or ask somebody in your upline, in your group. You know, we've got all types of group pages on here where you can go and ask questions, because
Right.
it will work for you. You just have to find the right amount. Like myself, as far as the BioCleanse is concerned, I had started following the schedule, and I started with 1, and I increased it to 2, and I didn't see results. I increased it to 3. What worked for me is I take 4 BioCleanse in the morning and 4 BioCleanse in the afternoon. You know, if for some of you it may be less, for some of you it may be a little bit more.
Right.
The good thing about these supplements is that they're all natural, they're safe.
Yes.
So you can either increase or you can decrease, but you just have to work with them and find the right dosage amount for you.
Exactly.
And if you have questions about it, ask somebody. You know, ask your upline, ask your partner, your team member, or your, you know, anybody that's in your group. Ask. Everybody's always willing to help.
Exactly.
And that's helped me.
Yeah, and see, that's what we talk about too. We talk about how important it is to add your potentials, your customers, and add your ambassadors to the groups, because in these groups, you know, we put a lot of good information in there that may help that person continue on with their journey. So that's one thing that when we get new team members and stuff, we let them know, hey, you know, when you start signing up people and customers, add them to these groups, add them to our groups. We have the ambassador group, we have the customer group. Get people in these groups, you know, because there's a lot of good information that might keep them going and not get them off track. And then ask questions.
Exactly. You know, I'm seeing that Plexus is helping in other areas, as you know, not just with weight loss. I see it helping people with infertility. I'm seeing people. It's helping families with, you know, kids with ADD, and
Right.
It's just helping in so much as far as health is concerned. So if you've got the ability that, you know, that you've already started with Plexus, and, you know, stick with it, become product of the product, and go out there and share it with people. You know, and if you've got questions, like I said, you know, reach out to somebody, reach out to your upline,
Right.
or, you know, anybody in your group that's taking it, because you know, we're all willing to help, and we're all willing to share our own personal stories. I am happy that I was able to have Bonnie, you know, by my side and stick with me. And, you know, now I'm product of the product.
Right.
I'm living proof that Plexus does work.
Right.
I can go out there and I can share with people, and I can show them my before and after pictures. And, you know, I've got a picture on here that I wanted to show you.
Oh, okay.
But that used to be me.
Wow. Wow, girl, that's amazing.
That was me, 250 pounds, and I was wearing a size 24 pant. I got rid of my size 24s because it it just made me feel real bad every time I saw them.
Right.
It just,
Yeah.
it was horrible whenever I saw my pants.
Trust me. Yeah, trust me, girl. I was in size 38 pants, and whenever I started losing all my weight and I lost all my inches, I saved them for a while so that way, when I lost my weight, I could take a picture of, check this out. Look how much, So.
I actually did a picture, and you can find it on my Facebook.
Oh, okay.
I did a picture of my size 24, my size 20, my size 18, my size 16, and 14. All my sizes.
Right. Wow.
I wasn't able to take a size 10 then, but there's a picture where there's my size 24 all the way down to my size 12.
That's amazing.
And, the only pant that I did keep was my size 18. This is my size 18.
Right. Wow.
That's my size 18 right there. But I am no longer a size 18. I am into a size 10.
Wow. Good for you. That is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so now can you tell us who your jewel uplines are? I mean, like I know you said Bonnie, so what rank is Bonnie?
I'm actually in my group is Diamonds in the Rough.
Oh, okay.
Bonnie, she's gold. She's a gold ambassador.
Okay.
Our upline is Ellie Wilson. She's an emerald.
Okay.
And Brandy Wampler, she's senior ruby. And Leanna Porter, she's senior ruby as well. And all of us are under Christy White, who's a diamond ambassador.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, well, good. Okay, so my next question for you is, now, did you go to convention or anything? Have you been to convention or?
I went to convention last year.
Last year, okay.
And yes, I went to convention.
You mean this year in Vegas or was it this year?
No, I went to Miami. Orlando.
Orlando, yes, okay, gotcha.
Were you in Orlando?
Yes. Oh yeah, I've been to every one since because I started in 2013 is when I first heard about Plexus. So anyway, the first one they had was here in Dallas, so it was great. I was like, yay, it's here in Dallas, so it was easy, and I've been to every one since then. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Orlando was my first one.
Oh, okay.
And I wasn't going to go because I hadn't registered in time. And by the time I was going to register, there was no more openings available.
Right.
And we were 2 weeks away from convention. And I remember Ellie sent me a message.
Right.
And she said, I've got an opportunity for you if you want to go to convention. I've got somebody who's unable to go. Her brother passed away in Hawaii, so the ambassador was not going to be able to go, and she wants to give you her ticket.
Oh, okay.
And I said, that's amazing, And I said, okay, I'll take it. And everything just happened so fast, and before I knew it, I was on my plane to Orlando with Bonnie. And Dawn, I remember walking into that convention center and I had goosebumps all over me because I had never been part of something so amazing, something that was just so alive.
Right.
There was just so many people. I met so many people. At one point throughout the convention, I remember I was at the store buying some stuff, and there was just lines of people everywhere. There was just tons of people. And I remember I was standing in line, and somebody came up to me and tapped me on the shoulder. And she said, "You're San Juanita Gonzalez, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "My sister knows you." And I'm like, okay. I have a lot of people on Facebook. And she said, "Well, my sister's name is Laura." And I said, "Laura? Well, I have a lot of friends, by the name of Laura." She said, "Well, she's from California, and her last name is Rayon." And I said, "Yes." I said, "Yes, I remember Laura. I do chat with her a lot."
Right.
And she said, "Do you mind if I take a picture with you? Because she follows your journey a lot on Facebook." Wow. And I want to be able to show her that I got to meet you. Right. And we were able to meet. And I said, "Sure." I said, "Well, did she come to convention?" She said, "No." So, "Well, I'd be glad to take a picture with you." So I took a picture with her. I actually had several people come up to me when I was there in line.
Yep.
And asked me questions. I guess because, you know, my story had surfaced around Facebook a lot.
Exactly. Yep.
So I was fortunate, and it was exciting. It was exciting to be part of something that's not only helping people with their health, with weight loss, it's also saving people's lives,
Right.
changing their lives, not only health-wise, but financially as well. You know,
Right.
you're not only given the opportunity to change your health for the better, to lose that unwanted weight, but you're also given the opportunity to make your life better financially.
Exactly.
And it's helped my family in that way. You know, we recently moved into our new home. We bought a home and we moved in March. Plexus, the business side of Plexus has helped me with my daughter's dance expenses. For all of you who have kids and that are in sports and dance, you know that it's expensive.
Right.
And my daughter was a dancer in high school for 4 years. And literally, it gets expensive. It gets horrendously expensive. And Plexus helped me finance her 4 years of dance.
Wow.
And
Okay.
it's helping me now finance her college. It's helping me help my husband with expenses. You know,
Right.
it's allowing me to do things that I wasn't able to do before. You know,
Exactly.
it's helping me with vacations. It's helping me with our car payment. It's helping me with my photography business that I have on the side. It's helping me with so many areas in my life, you know,
Exactly.
and it's a win-win with Plexus.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Now my next question is real quick is, okay, you know, we're going to be going into Mexico next year.
Oh, I am excited about that. I've actually got people already messaging me because I work in the transport business. I have a lot of clients on the Mexican side. And I've actually got one particular person who's been bugging me for 2 years now. When is Plexus going to be in Mexico? And when is Plexus going to come
Right.
to Mexico? So as soon as we got the notice that Plexus was going to Mexico, I messaged her, and she's been bugging me every freaking day.
I know. When is it? When? I know. Yeah, we're excited about that too because I've got a friend that lives over in Mexico that I went to school with and everything, and he's been the same way. He's like, man. He goes, man, I see your post, and he goes, I've got all these issues, and I need Plexus so bad. He goes, you know, can we get it over here? And I'm like, no, not yet. And as soon as we heard the announcement, I did the same thing, girl. I was right there in convention at Las Vegas, and I messaged him, and I'm like, oh my God, we are going into Mexico. And he's like, oh,
yes, I know that, you know, once it opens in Mexico, that market is just going to go through the roof.
Yes.
And I'm excited about it because I live in Laredo, Texas. I am just 5 minutes away from the border.
Right.
I'm literally at the border.
Right.
And I've got all these people already asking me about it and are so ready to jump right in. And I've got that person who's actually a customer of mine through my job. She lives in Mexico City. And she's already got all these people who want to jump in already. So I'm so excited about it. I cannot wait for next year.
That's going to catapult you all the way up. You may be diamond.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am so looking forward to it. And, you know, like I said, Laredo, Plexus is not all that new. You know, it's not very well known here in Laredo because Laredo, the society here in Laredo is all about Herbalife. You know, I've tried Herbalife. I've got a friend who's so hooked on Herbalife, but the only thing I've seen as far as his health, it's deteriorating. It's not helping him at all. He's suffering from gallstones. He's suffering from gout. He's got severe gout, and he's just literally skin and bones. So, you know, my thing is I want to go out there and I want to introduce Plexus to people because Plexus is actually going to help you not just with weight loss, but it's going to help you in your overall health. And that's what I want. You know, it's not just about weight loss.
Right.
You know, it's about your overall health. And like I said, I'm glad that it's helped my mentality. It's helped me think differently now because before it was just weight loss. That's all I wanted. You know, I just wanted weight loss. But Plexus is so much more than weight loss.
Exactly, exactly. Well, San Juanita, we appreciate you getting on here tonight. And, I know in the beginning you said you was very nervous, but girl, you did amazing. We appreciate you getting on here, telling your testimony. It's going to inspire a lot of people to, continue and everything. So
thank you so much for inviting me, Don. I really, really appreciate it. And if my story can help anybody, I am so willing to help out anybody I can. And again, I want to stress, stay consistent with it. Do not give up on it. Even if you've been on it 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, stick with it. If you've got questions or concerns, reach out to somebody. Do not give up on the product just because you're not seeing those pounds come off.
Right.
Because eventually the pounds will come off, but you've got to give it time to work for you. Everybody's body is different.
Yeah.
And all our metabolisms work differently.
Yeah.
So don't give up on the product so quickly.
That's right. And focus on the positives. That's what we tell people. Yes. Focus on the positives.
Focus on the positive side of it before you even consider quitting.
Exactly.
Give it a year. That's what I suggest.
Oh, yeah.
Give it a year.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you will see the results. It took me 8 months. Yeah. It may take you less than that, or it may take you more than that.
Yeah.
But you will see the results.
Exactly.
And if you started on a particular dose and you see that it's not working for you, play with it. Find a routine that works for you.
Exactly.
That's what I did.
Yep.
That's what I did. And here I am 3 years, almost 3 years and a half into it. And I have not gained a single pound. I've lost 85 pounds. I'm feeling great. I'm about to be 48 years old on Monday. Wow. And if I can feel like a 20-year-old at 48.
Exactly, girl.
Why wouldn't I go out there and make it known to people?
Yep.
I mean, guys, Plexus is our fountain of youth. Stick with it.
That's right. Yep. Well, good for you. And like I say, we appreciate it. And then before, I'm going to stop the recording here in a second. But before we all go, is what I like to do is I like to do a screenshot of everybody that was on here. So let me go ahead and stop the recording.